here with Half Chrome. Today we're taking a look at the MJX X102H. There you can see it with the optional FPV camera, and here you're going to see it spin around and magically change over to the GoPro, which is a mount that comes with this drone. You can see it's mounted forward a little more. Now we're going to be comparing to the Syma X8. Here again you can see it with the stock FPV camera that we got with this X8W, and now with an aftermarket isolation mount and the GoPro mounted below it. Alright, we're recording. Say hi.
Hi.
Say cheese.
Cheese.
Cheese. You can see me and my little buddy got dressed up today. He's got the antlers on. I've got the antlers on. Why not? And we're going to do some flying around here first with this Syma X8. You can see we're well dressed. I've got my drone themed tie on, Drone B, but maybe it just looks like I'm a student at Hogwarts. But let's talk about the drone. It's the X8. The footage is nice and smooth here. You can see I'm moving the drone around pretty smoothly around the yard, and the footage is looking good, not shaky, no jello effect. So we're pretty pleased with the isolation mount that you can get as an aftermarket add-on for the Syma. Now you do see some artifacts here when looking straight at the sun. That seems maybe somewhat unavoidable. We've seen that same effect in really dark areas or bright areas with the Phantom drones even. So it has something to do with the vibrations maybe, but really only shows up in extreme light. So maybe not too unexpected, and we'll be able to compare to how the MJX performs next. Now let's take a look at those. We're going to look at some side-by-side side views with the drone, with the camera at different angles. Now looking at the left side first, there's the MJX with different angles down. You can see no matter what, you can see the props or the feet or both in GoPro wide. But with our modified Syma with the swept back legs, you can see there's a sweet spot there where you don't see anything, and that's what you were just watching in that video. Wide mode on the Syma. Now here's wide mode on the MJX. Again, you can see in the yard we've got the feet and the props in view. A little disruptive to capturing nice pretty video like you might see on some higher end drones. But what about the video quality other than that? You can see these artifacts, these horizontal lines, a bit more extreme here. This is an identical camera, so it has to be the drone. So I think it has something to do with the isolation mount. The camera is hung forward quite a bit, maybe stressing it out. It's not really centered up very well, which helps get the feet out of the field of view a little bit more, but I think it's creating these issues. And maybe it's just the drone. The drone's kind of shaky the way it flies. Here you can see me doing some manual point of interest mode and exercising the altitude hold a little bit. This would be a lot tougher to do without the altitude hold, so that is a nice feature of this drone. And not bad for my first try, kind of flying sideways here, trying to go in a circle and keep me in the middle. So here we're going to race across the yards, and you might think I'm going to hit the fence, but I didn't. Maybe I did once or twice, but that's the beauty of editing, you'll never know. So the next series of clips here are in a parking lot. We're flying both drones around. We're going to do some different things. We're going to capture some aerial footage. We're going to do some races. We're going to do some side-by-side flights where they're staring each other down. We're even going to play chicken, where we fly the drones at each other. But first, let's go up in the air with the MJX, and we'll see. Now, what do you see here? You see the parking lot. Not the most compelling footage when you have such a narrow field of view. Now, you don't see the feet anymore, and that's because I put the GoPro in narrow mode, so we didn't see that. But you see the sacrifice. You know, you don't want to see those feet. You're not going to see much of the world. It's a much more narrow field of view. Now here we do some racing. We got the camera at the end, the finish line, and we're going to see the same race, this time from the point of view of the MJX, looking straight at the pavement. You don't see much there. We're going to do another race where the MJX sees literally nothing but pavement. Boom, there it goes. You can see it from the other drone. And what happened there? Well, the altitude hold doesn't hold up so well at full speed. Now we're playing chicken. You see both drones footage there. Much easier to capture with the wider field of view in the GoPro. Now we have, actually that was the wide field of view on the DB Power. So we have the DB Power EX5000 mounted on the Syma for those tests. Now we're going to lead you out here with the MJX spinning. This has been a half chrome video. Check us out at www.halfchrome.com.